it is Kurt Sasso here. We're at Mission Park at TGT Webcomics at C2E2, and I'm going to really screw that up. And here's Strength right there. Funny guy. We're here today with Casey, one of the lead actors here on Mission Park, and you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing this film. I love the trailer. I love the cast. This cast is just
a fun group.
It's a fun group. Really,
and we've worked together before, so we all know each other. We know the writer, and it gets along. So we could already have that chemistry that you want to have on set, and trying to make characters that interact with each other well. So that really helped.
So you know, I guess Chip's the main guy. He brought all of these characters to life, so to speak. But it's truly the actors that kind of bring that little extra to it. You know, what did you take from actually reading about this character?
Well, so this has been brewing in Chip's head for quite a while. All these different characters. He's a comic book lover. He's been coming up with these different ideas, and he had all these actors, and he wanted to start a movie as the initial idea for a comic book. But it's real comic book, so there's gonna be web-based stuff. It's multimedia. It's trying to make a franchise, but we as actors, we get to present and create the characters. And so my character, he wrote, I'm basically a rock star. I get my powers from music, and I'm all music-based. But as a rock star, I'm also very egotistical and very self-absorbed. And my main thing is I want to fly, but I can't fly because I have not found that song yet. And this egotistical driven need to get these powers and present myself a certain way actually makes me dangerous to the rest of the group. I'm the most, in fact, at one point I get the whole group in trouble by trying to find a song that will make me fly, and I can't do it. But I'm also, I'm probably the reason the group broke up in the backstory, because I've pushed everyone around. And in fact, there's a scene at the very beginning where, because I don't know what songs are going to do, I just blow up an entire club. I walk into a club and the whole club just blows up. I've killed thousands of people. So it's a fairly dark idea, and it's a fairly dark character in a way.
With everything that you've done, you've worked together with these guys for a long time, and you know, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you guys are swamped here. You know, with everything that you've done, and God, I gotta edit that.
The what?
No, I can't. I just lost my train of thought. I guess let's talk a little bit about yourself with this here. I mean, are you a professional actor by trade, or are you side job?
No, I'm actually a professional actor by trade right now. That's how I make my living, which isn't very easy to do, but it's a good time. I do children's theater that pays well. I do stage shows. I do film. This is the most fun thing I've done, and I love working with this group. So the opportunity to do something like this is great, and we really think it can build a following. And if it builds that following, it's a franchise to just keep building. And as the characters, we get to help build that, create a team, an idea, an identity for these comic book characters that you don't really, if it started on the page, which is great, and it kind of had, but we get to help create that emotional core of the characters by acting in the film.
And you're doing a great job. You really are. I mean, I want to see this full production. I want to see fans take this and run with it. I could see this as a huge seller at cons. I mean, you know, how was the reaction in Boston?
People were very interested. It's also fun to have something that's location-based. I mean, Boston has a burgeoning film industry, and has a comic book scene, and people are very interested there. But to be able to create something that's very Boston-based, we shoot in Boston, so people are interested in there to see their town in this comic book format with the characters in front of them, this cell-shaded look, and they're very interested in it.
Now, would you do anything? Obviously, you work with these guys in the future. But you know, you as an actor, you're always looking for other projects as well. What really interests you besides the superhero genre?
Well, I mean, stage acting is where I learned to do acting and stuff. But the film, I mean, when you get an opportunity to dress up in spandex and do something crazy with your hair, and the character is really interesting. I mean, he's very. There's a lot of depth to the character himself. I mean, I'm impulsive. I'm out of control. I have a lot of internal issues. I'm very insecure in that way that people do when they're kind of like a rock star. But I also want to help people, but then my own ego gets in the way. And that's the way the whole all the characters are. In fact, their main enemy is themselves and the group within it. It's not the outside. They can do great things together if they can learn to work together. And that's great drama in a movie. Not just these characters and their superhero powers, but the fact that it's the characters themselves working against each other and with each other that creates good movies and web series. Yeah. Well,
yeah, and you're using the internet to its fullest. You're using the fact that there's so much social media out there that you could just go, here's a Facebook page, here's Twitter, here's whatever, and you can get yourself out there as much as you can, and that's what everyone should really be about personal branding. And it's good to see that you guys are making really a name for yourselves.
Yeah, and that's the cue. And because the web-based stuff, it's a lot of things. You're trying to get people online, and the movie's a great way to introduce the characters. But then we have all these ideas for these short web-based clips that create the characters, create a background. Because it's I think as someone else said before, the movie starts in the middle. There's stuff in the before and there's stuff after, and there's already ideas, and we can build all of that around it with online, with print stuff, with comic book print, with even just we're having different ideas for contests for like my character has songs, so we bring in the Boston-based musician community to help with that. There's an artist idea behind it, so that we're asking for paintings and stuff like that would represent what we're doing. I mean, we're trying to get everyone involved and trying to get the online community involved too, along with the comic community.
I think one of my favorite bands, actually based out of Boston, is called Trocadero. They actually do Nico. He does great work for RedVersusBlue.com. He does amazing music. He's not just it's a video game basically, but he does some really great jazz, some really great like rock and just good type of stuff there. I'll have to give you his website afterwards.
But, we'll definitely be interested in that.
Yeah, he's a good guy, but and a good group. But I could see something like that as a collaboration of sorts. But I don't run it. So, as a fan though, I could see that would be some really cool stuff as a local thing, especially with merging two genres, because you have superheroes, you have video games, you have everything. I mean, the sky's the limit with this type of stuff.
Yeah, and you can do that now with the online-based community. I mean, it's great coming to a Comic-Con and seeing all these people that have the comic-based perspective, the written page-based, but it's expanding. So, I mean, this starts out as a movie, but we get to create it in all these different directions in a franchise and a group based around that, the whole community.
Last question here.
Okay.
What are you going to take out of C2E2 once this is all over?
Well, we hope by being here, we get a better idea of what people are looking for, and so we can help shape our movie and our characters and what we present to the online community based on what we see through other people presenting here.
Okay, one quick one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite comic?
What's my favorite comic? When I grew up, I'm more of a visual acting-based person, so I really like the comic book movies. I love the new Batman movies. The way they present the characters. I mean, I remember I read early Batman. Batman's my favorite character, but I read the reimagination of the Batman character, his birth. So that was my favorite comic when I saw it. Yeah.
That's good. And I just want to thank you very much for having this interview. I thank you for taking the time. I'll let everyone else do whatever they need to here, free up your booth space, but I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. All right.